The Grappling Hour is brought to you by BioPro Plus, the faster, easier, and safer non-synthetic alternative to painful anti-aging and hormone treatments. Brandon McCatherine is a diabolical genius. Why do I say that? Well, I mean, there's a few reasons. Number one, his YouTube channel is quite good. Number two, if you've ever rolled with him, it's not very fun. And number three, this is the big one. He put together a Jiu Jitsu battle royale where all of the participants started on the mats and then were allowed to go from a one-on-one match to then joining up and teaming up against other people on the mats. Along the way, they made the space shorter and shorter, and Brandon McCatherine, with true heel alter ego hat, went all the way around and started offering cash incentives to the people on the mats to either break the rules or to eliminate themselves, and other various nonsense. I gotta tell you, this is a plan right after my heart, and Brandon himself asked me to come out for this, and I could not because I am unfortunately in the middle of a production right now. But I gotta say this, maybe the next one. And Brandon's not the only one doing this sort of nonsense. I've been doing this for years, and in fact, we've been putting together our own set of nonsense, and if you want to see what we did, I encourage you to go check out the Mama Academy Instagram page early next week, because you'll get to see the type of nonsense I do, because Brandon's not the only one who puts together game shows in a jiu-jitsu context. But I want to tip my cap, my terrible Cuban mafioso drug dealer hat, to one Brandon McCatherine. BMAC, we love you. Hey, and we love those of you watching. Don't go anywhere. You're watching The Grappling Hour. What is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Raph Esparza, and yes, I am very excited to get to our guest today, Izaak Michell. I think you know the story behind him. I think you know the story behind who's next, but before we get to him, we've got to say something, so I'm going to let this guy say a few words from our sponsor. Do you wish that you could recover faster from workouts or training? Do you wish you had the same energy, power, stamina, and drive that you used to? Every year after puberty, your growth hormone decreases, sometimes by as much as 50%. And, spoiler, it doesn't come back. It doesn't matter how in shape you are or how good your diet is. Just like death, taxes, and sequels to The Fast and the Furious, they're gonna happen, whether you like it or not. But Raph, how does this affect me, a young jiu-jitsu practitioner who believes he will never get old? Well, growth hormone decreases can cause poor workout performance, slow workout and injury recovery, chronic fatigue, mood swings, depression, body fat, low libido, poor sleep, and a lot more. Though frankly, if you're asking me, that sounds like plenty. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind 100% non-synthetic alternative to prescription HGH growth hormone treatments. It immediately replaces what your body is not getting, and it does it naturally without the needles, nasty side effects, or the expensive costs of typical synthetic growth hormone treatments. BioPro Plus is not a synthetic drug, so it won't shut off your natural production or cause you to pop on any drug tests. Wink, ADCC competitors. Since 2009, BioPro Plus was only available through doctors, but not anymore. Now you can get BioPro Plus shipped directly to you. No doctor visits, no blood work, no pharmacy. If you're serious about your training, and I hope that you are, go to Bioprotein Tech and use the promo code GRAPPLINGHOUR for We're giving them $30 off to our idiots? Okay, it's their money. Go to Bioprotein Tech and use the code GRAPPLINGHOUR for $30 off. So go check out BioPro Plus today before your competition does. Hey, and we are back. All right, I don't want to waste your time. You know the story about Izaak Michell. You know that he has just come to the United States, had a hell of a match against Kyle Chambers, and became the very first winner of Who's Next, otherwise known as FloGrappling's The Ultimate Grappler, because it's essentially the same show. Not important. What is important is you get to see Izaak Michell talk about that match, what happened, some of the surprises that came along the way, and much, much more. So here is your preview of this week's episode. I hope you like it. And if you want to see the full interview, all you have to do is go to HY.PAGE/grappling hour, and you can see the whole thing. Again, right now, it's only the first 10 minutes. So let's check that out. I don't want to waste too much of your time. In fact, we've got an excellent guest. I want you guys to get to know him pretty well. I feel like you've had some time to get to know him. Perhaps as much as 90 minutes to 2 hours to get to know his work. Pray tell, I have been told that if you listen carefully, he might still be grappling against Kyle Chambers. However, this young man has been very impressive. He's been killing it on the scene, and I, for one, was very happy when he was put on this show, and I've always wanted to interview him. He ended up winning it in epic fashion and almost in a mythical way. So if you're looking for somebody who's going to pull out a big win, why not bring on the guy who actually won the very first season of Who's Next, Izaak Michell. Izaak, how you doing, sir?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course, man. I guess first and foremost, what has been the most recurring thing that you've heard? I've seen a lot of memes go up about you. I don't know that I've made any. I've definitely made jokes. But what has been one of the most epic responses in terms of your very, very long match that you recently had, sir?
I guess apart from people falling asleep, it's the whole the interviews that me and Carl had to do post the 2.5 hour long match. Got a bit of feedback, so I guess people have been asking me to put out an anti Jiu Jitsu instructional and make some merch on that. But yeah, it's all in good fun.
Yeah, so that's the part that caught me. And I think if you've been rolling for 2 hours, I don't know that you have your perfect words about you. I know even when I roll for a little bit, sometimes I say things, it may not come out right. But there was an emphasis on anti jiu jitsu. And what was your initial reaction when you heard anti jiu jitsu in relation to what you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought definitely the way that Carl used the term anti jiu-jitsu was different than how people perceived it. Um, but I was a little bit shocked seeing his interview. He said that the break was pretty much saved me. He said I only escaped the submission because I had no hair. Like there was a lot of things that he said that were questionable, but on his defense, he was rolling for 2.5 hours. Like we're very. I know I had a big migraine going into that interview. Like we were very dehydrated as well. So, sometimes after a fight, you don't know what you're saying. You're just speaking.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was kind of going through when I saw the statement come out. Is I said, Kyle's a pretty chilled guy, and I don't know many people who have issues with him, but I do know that there was a weirdness to the way it was being brought up, in the sense that I kind of could tell that it was a weird phraseology. But to be fair, sometimes you lose track, and I'm sure that some of the video that they caught of him, where he was literally just kind of doing what I do. And honestly, I got to be honest, completely here, full disclosure. Um, I am the exact definition of anti-jiu-jitsu, so I'm not one to talk here, but I definitely looked at that and I said, those are pretty funny clips. So the person that put together that very funny reel, I thought, as long as everybody's in good taste here, but nobody was trying to put this as another match. Like nobody's angling for a rematch here, are they?
No, I don't think so. There was a few people that were asking for a combat jiu-jitsu rematch. Just with strikes involved, it'd be a bit different. But I like Carl. I think Carl's a good dude as well. But he definitely was upset that he lost and lost a lot of lost the championship in the end and lost all the prize money as well. So he did say some things that he probably said when he was upset and he was angry. But he at the end of the day, we both had the common love of jujitsu together, and for us to go out and battle, it was fun. And with what he said, I feel like the match only got more feedback than it didn't have that sort of interview afterwards. But it was a little bit wild or ridiculous. But it is what it is, and we'll just both move on to our next matches.
That's fair. And again, I like both of you guys. And in fact, that was kind of the good part of the series is I like most of you on that show pretty well, and we have relationships with a number of those folks. And even though I didn't know you personally, I said, well, your jiu-jitsu speaks for itself, so I think you would probably do well. And when I saw it was you and Kyle in the finale, I said, those are two guys with really good jiu-jitsu. So when people started kind of putting jokes about that, my initial response was, no, no, these are not the guys to make fun of. They might have rolled for 2 hours, but that's a hard roll, and that's a hard competitive roll. So when people were lobbing some of these jokes, I was like, I think they would both waste most of the people in the comments. Did you get any anti-feedback? Because I felt like you were doing a lot of aggression, and you were trying to make things happen. And I don't know that sometimes people get very excited for one fighter or grappler that they might talk crap about the other ones. But did you take any heat on the internet by chance?
I mean, yeah, I did get a few questionable DMs and things like that, and a few comments in here and there. But I was talking to Craig Jones afterwards, and he's like, it's going to happen regardless. Like us just being in the spotlight, it's just going to happen, and people are only going to treat you as good as your last performance, unfortunately. So if I go out next and I submit the best guy in the world, then people will like me. And then I go out again the next week and I don't do so well, then people won't like me. And that's just a reoccurring thing in professional sports.
It is true, but I would like to caption that with those of us who are actual fans of the sport recognize what you do and
Of
how
course.
difficult it is. So there are a lot more of us. We might have fallen asleep for part of it. I will tell you this. I was at a wedding on limited internet, but I was away and I had some version of it playing. And then I was staying at somebody's house. They said, hey, come have dinner. And I said, well, all right. Okay. I might miss out on what happens. I go eat the dinner, have enough time to socialize, have a few drinks, come back and go, oh, for love of God, it's still happening. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I came back right before they moved you to the opposite set of mats. Was this ever discussed with you that there was the possibility they would move you to another place?
No, absolutely not. It wasn't discussed with us. And yeah, like you said, like the real fans will always like, they're going to like you no matter what, really. But yeah, we did get some. Both me and Carl did get some feedback, negative and positive, from the match, which is always going to happen. But no, initially I was asking Flo. It is a live event. I think Carl's all of Carl's matches were quite defensive until the other guy did get tired, and then he chose his opportunities very carefully, and then he got the submissions in his matches. Not so much his first match in the show. That was very back and forth, like he was attacking the whole time. But his last three matches, I would say he was, against Andrew Tackett, his most recent match before the final. He was Tackett was on his back a lot of the match. He wasn't able to submit him. Taggart got tired eventually over an hour, and then Kyle rolled through and got a knee bar. So I felt like that was going to happen in our match. I felt like Kyle was going to emphasize his defense, and I could hear his coach Gio calling out during the match, like, we prepared for a long match, we prepared for a war, Izaak prepared for a battle. So I think it was their intention to, drag it out. I was obviously in Australia. I just did ADCC trials. Then I was basically there for a month trying to organize a visa. While I was doing that, I was trying to make some money doing seminars here and there. So I didn't really have good preparation. And I was coming in from, a long flight from Australia, landed next day competing. So I was jet lagged. And maybe Carl thought it only helps his game plan to drag it out a little bit longer. And then I'm going to get tired. And then he would find his opportunities, which he did get a few good opportunities to submit me. But fortunately, I was able to escape his attacks and then continue on, eventually win the match.
I'll be honest with you. I knew that could be a possibility. And you being one of the people who watched those very long matches, and I don't know how you guys did it. I started thinking, I'm a production guy. So when I look at stuff like that, I think about the cast and crew and everybody who's there. And I think the funniest thing to me was seeing the amount of snacks Craig Jones was having. That's how I could tell how long the matches were before they had a timeline. All right, that is going to do it for this week's show. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic evening. My name is Rafa Sparza. If you could do me a solid, go check us out on Apple Podcasts. And while you're there, if you can give us a rating and a review, it would mean the world to us, especially if it's 5 stars. But you didn't hear that from me. I'm just saying, if you can give us a rating and a review, it helps the podcast. And like I said, we've got a whole bunch on backlog that we're about to put on. We're just waiting for a couple things, and then they're all going on. And once that happens, I think you're going to catch up on a lot of the audio versions that many of you have already seen, but some of you may not have heard. So very excited about that. And again, if you want to become a member, check us out, HY.PAGE/GRAPPLINGHOUR. That's going to do it for us this week. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be doing a fight companion from our good friends, Milton Arguello's Mixed Martial Arts Academy. That is Mama Academy this weekend for UFC 277. If you don't got plans, join me, because I don't know that you're going to buy this pay-per-view. And you might need some help listening to it. And we're getting our reps in because ADCC is right around the corner. And we go all out for that. All right, that's going to do it for us. My name's Rafa Sparza. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.